It was the stuff of songwriters on YouTube, talk show hosts, and comedians.
I think this is a horrible waste of time and taxpayers' money. Every minute they waste on this frivolous lawsuit, they're not able to waste on other frivolous lawsuits.
He's joking about the lawsuit recently filed by Washington, D.C. Judge Roy Pearson. He sued a dry cleaner for $67 million over a missing pair of pants. Everyone agreed the lawsuit was frivolous, but it fanned the flames about all lawsuits and the lawyers who bring them. Jasmine, when I say trial lawyer or personal injury lawyer, what do you think?
Well, kind of scumbags, leeches. They cling to you and they take everything what you have.
I think ambulance chaser.
Yeah. You think there are frivolous lawsuits?
Definitely.
Can you name one?
The McDonald's coffee cup incident.
And that attitude is exactly what these well-funded ads want to exploit.
Some trial lawyers are exploiting our courts, using frivolous lawsuits to make millions.
Who's behind the ads? Well, just follow the money trail. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce and major industries which have the most to lose in litigation. The pharmaceutical, chemical, and restaurant industry. Big insurance and tobacco and asbestos together have spent more than $200 million to create the myth of the frivolous lawsuit. The Chamber and its Institute for Legal Reform have targeted lawyers in civil suits, pushed to limit corporate accountability and Americans' rights.
Over the course of the last decade, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has transformed from a relatively non-political organization into a real powerhouse lobbying organization that represents major industries in the United States. They employ, for example, 17 lobbyists just on the issue of asbestos alone to reduce the liability, change the legal climate with regard to lawsuits against companies that have used asbestos that have injured workers and the public.
In fact, Rampton and the nonprofit Center for Media and Democracy finds that in the 1990s, Philip Morris and its friends began the PR push called the Tort Reform Program. Internal documents show that in order to be effective, media activities promoting tort reform, quote, must not be linked to the tobacco industry. Then, quote, we have seized on the disrepute of the personal injury lawyers to weave into our lobbying, media, and grassroots tactics. Big Tobacco knew liability lawsuits were coming, and soon many states had filed suit against the industry, costing it billions and forcing Big Tobacco to quit advertising to children.
The Flintstones has been brought to you by Winston, America's best-selling, best-tasting filter cigarette. Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Today, you don't have to look far to see ads paid for by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce for politicians on board.
Congressman Don Sherwood is working to reform the legal system to stop lawsuit abuse and skyrocketing costs that are hurting healthcare.
See the Chamber's name in the small print?
Log on to uschamber.com.
Why are corporations concerned? Why do they want to push tort reform? Because when they make a mistake and they affect someone's life or they affect someone's health, they don't want to pay for that, and because it comes out of their profits. And so it's in their best interest to prevent people from being able to be compensated for their injuries.
Eddie Farah and other trial lawyers like him believe safeguards are in place to prevent frivolous lawsuits. Judges can throw out a suit like that. The contingency fee system means lawyers get paid only when they win. And Farah doesn't take cases he sees as frivolous.
If the other side, or the insurance companies or the defense firms, know you're pursuing these cases which don't have merit, it affects the value of your other claims.
The Chamber ads claim greedy lawyers are driving up insurance premiums. What they don't tell you is the powerful Chamber-backed industries want to cap what Americans can be compensated in civil courts for medical malpractice, such as the case filed by the parents of 8-month-old Kendall Bliss. In the hospital for fluids after suffering from a cold, an ER nurse squeezed the fluid bag and air into her system. Little Kendall turned blue and passed away. The Chamber also doesn't tell you these facts. Medical errors kill 195,000 Americans every year. Only 1 in 8 seriously hurt by medical malpractice ever file a lawsuit. Medical malpractice lawsuits are decreasing. Median payout for all torts is down 55% to an average of $28,000. Meanwhile, insurance premiums are still rising for doctors, leading many to say that that industry is just trying to make up for bad investments in the stock market.
So there are a lot of people, and I think if you look at the statistics, there are a lot fewer malpractice claims being filed now. The recoveries are lower, but there are a lot of people out there who have been victims of malpractice that are never going to be compensated.
And what about the McDonald's coffee case? Still marked as one of the top 10 frivolous lawsuits of all time. The facts tell a different story there, too. 79-year-old Stella Liebeck was a passenger in a stopped car when she held the coffee cup between her knees to put in milk and sugar. When it spilled, she was scalded by the 180-degree coffee. She received third-degree burns across her groin, inner thighs, and buttocks. Liebeck required a week's hospital stay, skin grafts, and 2 years of rehabilitation. She asked McDonald's for $20,000. The company refused. Because she was 20% responsible for holding the coffee between her knees, she received a small settlement and enough to cover her medical costs. McDonald's own testimony and actions led a jury to rule against it when the company executives said they knew at 180 degrees the coffee was hot enough to scald. The judge called the company reckless, callous, and willful after finding out more than 700 unsuspecting customers had already filed claims.
Wait a minute, 180 degrees.
180 degrees.
Okay, I've done restaurant work my whole life. That's ridiculously hot.
See, you never hear about that either. I didn't hear about that, about how badly she was burned. All you hear on the news is this woman suing McDonald's over coffee. So then there's another, it's terrible.
Predatory trial lawyers at it again. The victims, all of us.
Do a little word association here. I say personal injury lawyer, and you say
advocate.
Remember Mr. Fancy Pants?
And even though you know it's gonna cost a lot of dough, you have to have the world's best pants.
After a 2-day trial, a judge ruled against his lawsuit. The dry cleaner was awarded court costs and can move to recover attorney's fees. That's the way the system is supposed to work. The costs of the legal system are created by those who cause injury, not those injured through no fault of their own. Today, Americans need more protection from those who cause injury. They need more remedies through the court system, not fewer. Even the comedians realize that's no laughing matter.
Oh, I got fat from your French fries. They're fries! Ooh, Enron stole my pension. All right, that last one, that's not frivolous. That's not frivolous. That's fair enough. Sue for that. Someone takes your pension away, you can sue. Your pants, I don't know.